Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Virgo energy call. Oh, good. We have somebody else that just popped in. So thank you for whoever just popped in. If you would please mute yourself and turn off your video camera. This is being recorded, and we can catch up after I stop the recording. So welcome, everyone. This is the August 2022 energy call. Clarify and decide, purify and intend. So Virgo is about all of those things. And my name is Mary Beth Wollenschlager, and I created the Love Your Life in Sync program to help people take personal responsibility for their energies. And we do that by teaching people certain tools, especially the tool of heart math, which we'll be sharing a lot about heart math today, as well as astrology, and also some healing and wellness techniques that can be done virtually, like Reiki, reflexology, and something called metamorphosis, which is really cool, really fun, very different. The goal of Love Your Life in Sync is to help you more honestly and authentically, and hopefully more frequently, be able to say, I love my life. So with that, we're going to get started. Oh, just a few thoughts about the picture I chose for tonight. You know, Virgo is also about routines, bringing in new habits, changing bad habits. And Virgo is about health, about well-being. So I thought this was a tender picture to help us be more compassionate with ourselves. And if it's time to make a change, we need to clarify, we need to decide. Before we do something, we need to decide. We need to get clear on what it is we're deciding to do. And once we do that, if we purify our intention, we have a much better chance of manifesting what we want. So more about that during the presentation. The first thing we're going to do, though, is get centered in our hearts and talk about the power of collective intention with our beautiful Virgo picture of the golden wheat. Heart Math offers a quarterly care focus where they invite people to come together in groups, focus on their heart, and create beneficial changes for our planet and for humanity. But there's so much going on right now, and people are feeling hopeless about our world situation, all the turmoil, the war, climate change, gun violence, inflation, the ongoing pandemic. But the good news is people are turning to their hearts because they're looking to their hearts to find new direction, because it's almost like there's no place else to go. Where else are you going to go? So that's what tonight is. I'm going to share with you tonight is focusing on the heart and recognizing that we can be kinder and more caring and have more compassion and get along with each other. And that will help dissolve the walls of separation. And the global heart is awakening and helping with all of this. So the power of the collective intention, this isn't a new idea. Lynn McTaggart, who wrote several books, including The Power of Eight, she was a journalist, and she studied the effect of just small groups getting together and powerfully intending with clear and pure intentions and performing seemingly miracles. So tonight, we're going to tap into what the care focus is for this quarter from Heart Math, and it's called The Power of Collective Intention And the first step in increasing the collective intention is to take responsibility for our own energies. And right now, the way the global trajectory is going, we really do need to create a new baseline of love, care, and kindness. And we need to replace our judgments with compassionate latitude, realizing that everyone's doing the best they can, given their circumstances, their upbringing, and their level of consciousness, and all the pressures they're dealing with. So opening our hearts more is the remedy. And we can do this if we join together with collective heart-based intentions. So the technique I'm going to introduce tonight is one I haven't shared before, but it's called shift and lift, the shift and lift technique. So it goes like this. Focus your attention in the area of your heart and imagine your breath is flowing in and out of your heart. And you can tap your heart if you like, you can close your eyes, or you continue to gaze at this beautiful Virgoian picture. And you can breathe a little slower and a little deeper than usual until you find an easy rhythm that's comfortable. So let's do that together. Let's just let our breath get a little slower and deeper and find a nice easy rhythm. It's actually the changing of the pattern of our breathing that creates those coherent signals to the brain. And as we continue to breathe together, a little more relaxed, we can activate feelings of kindness, appreciation, genuine connection, and an attitude of deep listening. And now I invite you to radiate these heart qualities out into the space you're in right now. Also to your own body, to yourself, this kindness, deep listening to your own body. And share this with the space you're in, which will help you lift your vibration. And now let's hold our hearts, a collective intention for more groups to come together to energize their heart-based intentions for more cooperation and harmonious outcomes. See people's hearts opening with a deep desire to get along with the rest of the world and each other and create solutions that work for everyone. Imagine radiating rays of light from your heart like sunshine. And see this softening the field environment that you're in, making it easier for people to release some of the pent-up energies of anger and resentment, fear, and separation. See people replacing these feelings with compassionate latitude, kindness, and helpfulness, which are things that we all desire. We desire those for ourselves. Let's close now by radiating out compassionate care to all who are experiencing war, hunger, and hopelessness. We see the power of collective heart intention help to ease suffering and then draw in solutions that are best for the whole. We also find that doing these heart math techniques is very grounding and centering, which we'll also talk about with the Virgo energies. So you can open your eyes now and let's just talk a little bit about some of the Virgo astrologies and what's associated with the Virgo energies. The sun will change costumes from Leo and move into Virgo on August 22nd. So the sun travels through all 12 signs of the zodiac, always in the same order. And there's a beautiful pattern. So we go from Leo into Virgo, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But the things that we associate with Virgo are discerning. We also focus on the details. Virgo likes the details. Virgo likes to analyze, and you need to know the details to analyze. Virgo is about service, our daily routines, purification, sorting out this from that, cleaning. Virgos, people with a lot of Virgo energy usually are people that enjoy clean spaces and keeping things clean or cleaning things up, or just the process of cleaning. Virgos are workers. Virgos are the worker bees. Virgos are the servants. Virgos are practical. They like simple things, but they're very precise. Virgos might be more apt to notice when something is askew. Do you have people in your life like that? Or work with people like you borrow something of theirs, or you borrow something when they're not there, and then you return it and it's not in the exact right space that was in? Virgos might be the type that might notice that. And Virgo is also about the process. Virgo loves process for efficiency and productivity and organization. So here we have a young lady, part of her daily routine, right? What should I wear? Discerning. She has choices here. She has options on the whatever there may be the bed, and she's holding something up, and she's carefully considering, is this what I want to wear today? So the Virgo key phrase is I analyze. And again, that requires getting into the details. Often the professions associated with the Virgo energies are all kinds of healthcare workers, from doctors and nurses to aides, and anyone connected with the well-being, physical well-being, mental well-being, emotional well-being, because Virgo is about our health too. And also servers of any kind, restaurant servers, or those that wait on you. Virgos are organizers, and because of the precision, Virgos are great clock makers, because making a clock requires detail and precision for sure. I don't know how many people are in that profession anymore, clockmakers. So that just made me chuckle. Some of the astrology information comes from way back, but I liked the idea of thinking about Virgo and clockmakers. So let's talk about the Virgo nature. I like to go through these 4 aspects of the nature each month. The first aspect we talk about is the polarity. It's either yin or yang. Last month, Leo was very yang, very outward. So this month, we have the Virgo energies, which are yin, more on the inward side. They're down, they're in, and they're under. So here we have a backhoe, which likes to go down and in and under. And because Virgo is associated with the earth, I chose this earth picture. And earth is about being physical and creating structures. So there's some new structures that looks like they're going to be the foundation for something. So that's what Virgo gets to. Virgo creates this nice, strong foundation. The quality of the Virgo nature is one that's mutable or changeable. The 3 qualities are cardinal, which initiates, fixed, which Leo was the fixed energy last month, and now we have the changing energy, the mutable energy reminds us that nothing is permanent, right? Summer is coming to an end. So Virgo is, and the signs that share the mutable quality include Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And so the Virgo energy is ready and willing to change. And Virgo is willing to do the work. So sometimes we're ready to do something, but we might not necessarily be willing to do the work. We're ready for the change. Yeah, okay, I'm done with this. I'm done with this job. But am I willing to do what I need to do to get a new job? Am I willing? I'm ready to lose that weight, but am I willing to stop eating the candy or the ice cream or the chicken wings? So I loved this picture because this is a change, right? Most people don't wear two different colored sneakers. So this quality of being mutable, being willing to change, and being willing to do the work. So we have to step forward into something new. We have to change the way we think. We have to change the stories we tell if we want to make a difference, if we want to create a new habit. And I have some really fun stuff to share with you about habits because Virgo is about daily routines. We also talk about the elements. So I mentioned that it was earth. So Virgos are very down to earth, and they might even like digging in the dirt, even if they're going to get dirty. Like that's the practical physical nature of Virgo. Virgo doesn't mind getting in there and working into the details. In fact, Virgo, the body part that Virgo rules is the small intestine. And the function of the small intestines is to separate things out, which ties into the symbol, which is the symbol for Virgo, virgin. The virgin is separating the wheat from the chaff. So the small intestines is where we separate out what can be kept, what needs to be absorbed, what's helpful, and then eliminates, sends on the rest to the colon so that it can be eliminated. So the virgin has to do with purification and having a pure heart, and the wisdom of having a pure heart, of knowing how to do this detailed work. Like if you had to manually separate the wheat from the chaff, that would be very detailed work. The small intestine is called the small intestine because it's much smaller than the colon. And so it's the things that get through are smaller and detailed. So I love how these words, if you understand these words, I think it kind of helps you understand the nature, especially when we apply them to real things in our lives. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I think I shared everything I wanted to share. I'm paying extra attention, going a little more detailed with my presentation tonight since it's Virgo. So we're going to be a little more detailed. Now we're going to talk about ways to embody the Virgo energies. And since Virgo likes to clean, this might be a new habit for you. It would be a new habit for me. Clean as you go. So the cooks tell you this. If you watch the cooking shows, they say, always clean as you go, or at least a lot of them say that. The ones that I've watched have said that. And look how neat the kitchen is behind her, and she's doing her work, and she's cleaning up as she goes. But we can apply that not just to the kitchen and cooking, we can apply that to anything we do. And this is something I'm really looking forward to trying it out. I was practicing today. I kept saying to myself, clean as you go. I can get distracted and I'm starting one project and then I go into another room and something catches my eye and then I start that project And then I go back and I realize that I was in the middle of something else, or even something as simple as like leaving the drawers and the cupboards open. It's like clean as you go. So I'm going to try and embrace that and break that in as a new habit. So because the Virgo energies connect us with our daily routines, this is the perfect time to break out of an old habit and break into a new habit. And I did a little research, did a little analyzing about habits, and we used to hear that it took 21 days to create a new habit. But then lately I've been seeing, no, it's more like 66 days. So I did a little digging, a little research, a little analyzing into how this came about. And interestingly enough, a plastic surgeon named Dr. Maltz from back in the 60s did all this studies. He was a plastic surgeon, and he wanted to know how long it would take people to adjust to their new self, whatever, if they had a nose job or whatever plastic surgery he did. How long did it take people to adjust? And what he found was it took a minimum of 21 days. A minimum. He didn't say it took 21 days. He said it took a minimum, at least 21 days. And somehow that got convoluted into how long it takes to create a habit. And I feel like if you had plastic surgery and you're getting used to the new you, that's not the same as trying to quit smoking, trying to create this new habit of eating better. So it's just kind of funny how things, the energy around things is just such that it just kind of can create a life of its own. And it has to do with the power of the collective. So as we started the call, when we set that intention for the power of the collective by having our own energies pure and knowing what our intention is, and then we can create. So I just thought that was funny. And then when I did a little more research, it's really not even 66 days to create a new habit. That's the average. The research has shown it takes between 18 days and 254 days, the average of which is 66 days. More likely, it takes from between 2 and 8 months to create a new habit. And what are the factors for creating a new habit? So here's some fun facts about creating a new habit. It's really not so much about creating a new habit, because that old habit is going to be there, but you want to create a new response to a trigger. And that has to be more powerful than the old response. And at Heart Math, this would be referred to as a baseline shift. And the Heart Math techniques help you do just that. They help you identify what your trigger is and how to connect with something new and different. And I'll give you a quick example. I was working with a client, sharing the Heart Math techniques with her, and this was at the beginning of the pandemic, and she was saying how much she just hated going grocery shopping, and she would get so annoyed with everyone. She would literally be cursing people, which was really unlike her. Of course, the pandemic is, so much happened, and this was in the beginning, but people were just abandoning their carts, and the lines were all clogged, the aisles were all clogged up, and she couldn't get through, and she just found it really frustrating. Then she started doing Heart Math techniques before she entered the store, as well as while she was in the store, and things no longer bothered her. This is a baseline shift. Now, in her case, that habit had not been ingrained. That was a relatively new habit, and she nipped it in the bud and she changed it. But we call that a baseline shift. The second thing you need to know about what affects creating a new habit is your level of motivation. So the more you want something, the more likely you're to stick with it. But if it's been a while, as the kids say, if it's been a minute, meaning you've done it for a really long time, there are neural pathways that are just ingrained in your brain. And so it may take quite a bit of energy to create some new neural pathways, to create some new responses. This is where the Virgo energies, so, and I heard this today. I was at the gym and the teacher was sharing some days it's not so much having motivation all the time if you have discipline, because on those days when you're not motivated, you can fall back on discipline and commitment. And that's what the Virgo energies help us with. They help us commit and be disciplined. So if we're ready to make a change, if we're ready to break in a new habit, but the willingness is we're a little short on the willingness because we don't have the motivation, then we just have to rely on the discipline. And we just have to tell ourselves it's not an option. We're just going to do this. We're just going to start doing this. And the third thing that helps us create new habits that affects us is, actually, I combined two there. That was very un-Virgo-like of me. I combined the motivation with the mental and physical ability based on our neurons and the neural pathways. This, again, is where heart math can help, because heart math affects our neurons, specifically the dendrites. Now I'm getting a little technical, but the dendrites are what are thought to help make a connection. So we've heard the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? Well, part of that comes from this idea that as we age, our dendrites don't function as well as they used to. They don't make the connection, and they might even break off, or we might not grow new ones. And there's research behind this with the Heart Math Institute showing that consistently practicing heart math techniques improves many things, one of which is your ability to learn new things, specifically because of the dendrites, and possibly even grow new dendrites, no matter what your age. So I thought that was really a very interesting idea, and I love being able to tie back the benefits of heart math into this astrology. So the other thing that you might want to do to embody the Virgo energies is simplify. Well, I've got two here. Simplify your organization system. So I love organization systems, but sometimes they're not simple. Sometimes I create a system, and then when I go to do that task again, I can't remember either where I put the instructions to do the task, or it's not that organization, it's too detailed. I went down too far. So you're invited to look at what skills you use to organize yourself, and is there a way to simplify them? Again, the Virgo energies can help us with that. And then this is a big one, and this goes back to what we talked about in the beginning when we did the power of the collective intention and we did the shift and lift heart math technique. We talked about what's going on all around us and how important it is to keep our own energy clear and to stay grounded. So even listening to the news could really throw you off center right now. Or maybe you're good, but maybe your loved ones are going through difficult things, or you're reading the newspaper or listening to the news. But having a process or processes to help you stay centered, to recenter, to ground is really important. And again, that's like a routine, creating a process. Maybe you already have them. Maybe you can take a look at what you do, or just think about, what do I do when I get thrown off center? And what can I do? What works for me? What do I know works for me? Is it taking a walk? Is it taking a few deep breaths and doing the heart-focused breathing? And I'll just review, for those of you that may or may not know the heart-focused breathing, we did that at the beginning of the call. That was the first part of the shift and lift technique. And it's such a simple technique. Anybody can do it anytime, anywhere, any place, eyes open in the moment. Although some people tell me, no, they really can't do it eyes open in the moment. But I think once you've practiced it, it does become a routine. So that's a new habit. If you want to break in a new habit, start doing the heart-focused breathing, which is simply bring your awareness to your heart. And you can do that by putting your hand over your heart or gently tapping on your heart. Imagine your breath flowing in and out of your heart. The tapping on the heart, or putting your hand on the heart and visualizing your breath flowing into the heart, that's something for your brain to do. Now your brain has drawn some energy towards the heart and maybe away from whatever you might have been ruminating over. So hand on the heart, draw your attention to the heart, visualize your breath flowing in and out of the heart. Start breathing just a little slower and a little deeper. You don't have to force this or over-exaggerate it, but just allow it to naturally happen. And develop a nice, comfortable rhythm. And it's that rhythm that sends new information, helps clear the heart, sends information to the brain. The heart sends way more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. And all that information has to travel through the hypothalamus. That's kind of the gatekeeper. When we change that breathing pattern, we affect that pathway and we help get the information to the heart, and we help get more coherent with the heart, with the brain. So having a process or processes, multiple processes to recenter, good thing to embody during this Virgo time. And something simple like wearing certain colors or decorating in certain colors. Paint your front door one of these colors for the season. I'm wearing the eggplant, I'm sporting the eggplant purple to welcome in the Virgo energies, but also any colors in the garden: wheat, oat, tomato red, and corn yellow. So now I'd like to just invite you to consider a few things associated with Virgo. So are the details helping or distracting? So we have quite an interesting closet on the left. I would say this closet, I would say this would upset a Virgo. this would not make a Virgo happy. This might make a Virgo's hair stand on end. And the person in here doesn't seem overly happy. So clearly you don't want to live like that. But you could also, perhaps you need to organize your closet in a certain way. On the right-hand side, we've got the colors of the chakras in the order of the colors of the chakras. So starting at the root chakra, which is at the, well, it actually goes all the way down to the soles of your feet, but it goes from the soles of the feet to the tailbone. That's the root chakra area, and that's red. And then you just travel up the spine. The sacral area is orange. And when you get to the solar plexus or around the belly button and tummy area, it's yellow. Then we go up to the heart, it's green. The throat is blue. The third eye, which is between, in the center of your forehead, between your two eyes, is purple. And then the crown chakra is pink, or sometimes it's white. I actually like to organize the clothes in my closet in this order. And for me, that helps. That is one organization technique that is simple for me and it works. For some people, that might be too much. And of course, my closet doesn't stay that way. And I do have to reorganize it, but there's a benefit to that because as I reorganize, then I remember what I have in my closet, what I haven't worn in a while. Like, oh, I do want to wear that, or I have not worn that in so long, it's time to say goodbye. It's time to pass it on and share it with somebody else. So this is a Virgo question for you. Are the details helping or are they distracting? Another Virgo idea, I love this quote. We are not so much doers as we are deciders. Once we decide, the doing is easy. So this is about using clarity to decide before doing. And I had this experience recently. Someone invited me to participate in quite a large project with them. And I wasn't sure if it was something I really wanted to put my energies into, because that's a decision. Then if my energies go into that, then my energies can't go into other things. But I wasn't sure. But I dipped my big toe in and I started doing before I decided. Well, by doing before I actually decided, I had doubt. I had doubt about the project. So I got clear and I decided that I didn't want to do it. So using clarity to decide before doing, that's what this quote says. Once we decide to lose that weight, and if we're ready and willing to do the work, then the doing becomes much easier, or at least simpler, because we're clear. So this was made known to me through the Stargate work that I follow, and it was talking about how to manifest, and it was about clarifying your decisions so that you can identify those fears and doubts and then figure out how you can dissolve them. And so basically to manifest, the idea is you need to dissolve your doubts and your fears, and you need to raise your vibration. Then you can move forward with a pure intention. And a pure intention, meaning our thoughts and our feelings are in alignment, that will manifest what we want. So we have a person here sitting by a waterfall. Waterfalls are wonderful for purifying because they release negative ions. And this might be one of your processes to recenter, to spend time out in nature, just being quiet and helping you purify your own energy. What can you do? Virgo wants you to consider, what can you do to help purify your energy so that if you do want to put your energy with others, you can help raise their vibrations as well. So I think that's it for the Virgo presentation. Oh, I have one more. Being present versus being preoccupied. And again, this comes back to being clear about what you want to do and then deciding. So if you want to spend time with a loved one, like, are you doing it out of obligation? Especially well, I'll just say, especially if you're doing it out of obligation or guilt, you need to be clear about why you're doing it and see if you can get your heart softened and get clear about why you want to do something. If you want to spend time with somebody, if you want to spend time with a loved one, be clear on that and be present. If you're going to be preoccupied, I mean, this really has to do with engaging with anyone. Everyone has gotten more aware. There's way more light flooding into the planet. So we are developing additional senses, and this is why we need to figure out ways to become more transparent, because people are starting to feel our energy. You can't necessarily see the energy. Some people can, but everyone is learning how to feel the energy. So if your words say one thing, but your energy says something else, people are going to start to know this. So if you can practice transparency, and if you can become more aware when you're being present instead of being preoccupied, that will help improve your relationships, even with yourself. So getting back to being clear about why you're deciding to do something. So that is the Virgo presentation. And next month, our call will be on Wednesday, September the 14th. So please star your calendar. And we'll talk about Libra, which is about the balance scales energies. So here we took that wheat that we separated from the chaff, and we'll be weighing it with Libra. All these astrological signs, the pattern always continues. The signs always, the sun travels through the 12 signs in the same way all the time. And the qualities, whether it's the cardinal, fixed, mutable, they just keep repeating. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. And the elements keep repeating. Fire, earth, air, water. So Leo is fire, Virgo is earth, fire, earth, air. Libra, guess what Libra is? Libra is air. So they do form a nice connection. And that's what Love Your Life in Sync helps us do. Helps us connect with a life that we love. So here is our contact information. And if you're watching this live, in a moment, I'm going to stop the recording and we can turn on our videos and have a chat. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you're invited next month to join us live and join in the chat. And here's the contact information. If you'd like to join live, please visit our website, Love Your Life in Sync. Sync is spelled like synchronicity. No coincidence there, SYNC. And you can sign up for the newsletter, which will give you the invitation to join the call live. You can also reach me on email at marybeth@loveyourlifeinsync.com. There's my phone number, or connect on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So again, thank you for watching, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.